Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now, before I get into this morning's story, I want you fellas to ponder on something momentarily. You ladies, you all just kick back and listen for a second, respectfully. Before doing so, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Let me know your city, your state, your hood, your set, whatever it may be that you're representing. Let it be known in the chat. Fellas, if you hear your woman say something to the effect of, I'm gonna go out of town just on a all girls trip. I'm gonna go out of town by myself. I'm gonna go out of town and perhaps meet my girlfriend somewhere, or just my girlfriend and I. That right there should give you some sort of red flags, especially if your relationship hasn't been going too well. That's not to say that women can't go out of town and be faithful and not do anything, as far as cheating on the relationship, on the marriage, whatever the scenario may be. But just know, once again, that if you all have been having any sort of difficulties in a relationship, and she just wants to go out of town and she don't want you to go with her, there's a possibility that she's going to get a swerve on, to say the least. Situation occurred, a couple. You got Tanya and you got Charles. Tanya and Charles have been married roughly about 9 years. They had 2 young daughters. I want to say 5 and 7. She was a nurse. He had a nice job. I can't remember exactly what he did, but he had a nice job. They had a house. They had, good credit. They were, the white picket fence. They had a couple puppies running around the house or what have you. They were living the American dream, if you will. Charles was working so much. Tanya was doing double shifts at the job. So it was just one of those things to where they didn't really get to see each other on a regular basis. It was one of those things to where she comes home, or she may work a double shift, and by the time she gets home and gets the kids situated or what have you, she's tired, and vice versa. He'll work a double shift, and they were consistently missing each other, but the relationship was a faithful relationship. Now, don't get me wrong, prior to them getting married, Charles had gotten caught up. The young lady, Tanya found out about it or what have you. But Charles felt as though, as anyone would feel, that she had moved on from the hurt, from the terrible things that Charles had did. After all, they weren't even married at that point. They ended up getting married. There was never any infidelities. Like I said, they had been married for 9 years. Tanya decides she wants to go to Jamaica with her friend. She wants to go to Jamaica with her friend, without her man, without her husband, just an all-girls getaway, an all-girls trip. She wants to go to Jamaica. Jamaica, mine. Charles didn't think anything of it. After all, he had never had any issues, any problems with his wife, with her cheating or anything of the sorts. And again, they weren't really having any major issues in a relationship besides, the basic problems that you're going to have in relationships from time to time. She goes to Jamaica with her best friend. Everything is all good. Leslie. She goes to Jamaica with Leslie, and they have a time of their life. I think they ended up staying 4 days, 5 days, something like that, something of the sorts. And when she came back, Charles noticed that she just had a different pep in her step. She just had a different glow about herself. She wasn't even acting the same. Didn't look the same. Obviously, she had been in Jamaica 4 or 5 days, so she got a tan, and so the physical wasn't really of concern. You see, Charles noticed that now she started to kind of keep her phone with her everywhere she went. Typically, if she got up to go to the restroom or go to the kitchen or go anywhere, basically, in different parts of the house or what have you, she would leave her phone just laying where it was at. Now she's taking her phone everywhere. Charles is waking up in the middle of the night and he's seeing that she's in the living room, talking on the phone, giggling, laughing. She was always talking to Ebony. Charles noticed that they were in the bed, and even when they were in the bed and she was texting or what have you, she was always kind of keeping the phone back to where even if he was trying to look, he couldn't look. It was obvious suspicion going on, but Charles said, you know what, man, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's just that, she did need that break. After all, we do have the kids all the time, understandably. There are kids. And, that maybe that just it just gave her that that she needed. Didn't really think much of it. Charles wakes up once again. Often will wake up in the middle of the night. He notices that his wife is not she's not in the bed. Goes to the restroom or whatever. He notices that she's in the living room, and he hears something to the effect of, "Girl, when he was giving me that massage, I thought my legs was getting weak, and I just thought I was just gonna just pass straight out." He hears something to the effect of that. So he's listening. He's eavesdropping. He's listening even more. "Yeah, girl, because my knees were straight weak." And then when the other one did it too, Charles can't believe what he's hearing. He's literally sitting there in amazement. He's sitting there like appalled, like, am I tripping? Am I dreaming? He pinched himself. "I pinch myself just to see if I'm awake again." He's trying to figure out exactly what's going on. He doesn't say anything. He proceeds, he goes to the bathroom, comes back, he's laying in the bed. About 20, 30 minutes later, his wife comes, she gets in the bed, he's not asleep, he's just laying there. He wants to ask her so bad. He wants to confront her about what he clearly heard with his own two ears. But once again, maybe I'm just tripping. Okay, what's wrong with the little massage? She got a massage. What's wrong with that? But deep down, Charles knew that it was something. A couple weeks passes. A couple months passes. And the relationship is just, it feels more of a partnership at this point. As I said, the two of them schedules kind of coincided from time to time. So there would go days to where they really didn't get to see each other and hang out with each other and really get to, do the husband and wife thing. Life was life. One day his phone goes off. It's 3 messages back to back to back. Yeah, I wonder who this is. He grabs the phone, and as he grabs the phone, it's a thumbnail on his phone. It's like a still. You know how like when somebody sends you a video, and before you click on the message or what have you, you'll see the thumbnail, kind of like the thumbnails I put up that make you all click on to Real Kens TV. I appreciate that. In addition, I need y'all to start hitting that like button more and commenting and sharing my videos. That's the only way we're going to get Real Kens TV out to the masses. I need you all to start liking the videos. It takes 0.25 seconds to hit the like button, comment, and share the video. This is something that I think everyone needs to hear. Especially those of you all that are in relationships and the relationships are not going so well at the moment. Nevertheless, he's hesitant. He sees that it's his wife, and he sees that it's a dude beside his wife. He's very, very skeptical. Like I said, hesitant to push play. Sits there for a second, pushes play. He sees his wife next to a black dude, got long dreads, dark-skinned dude, built, pause. Looks like he, penitentiary bill, been working out all day long. The Jamaica man. He got on nothing but boxers. She has on like a little short robe that they give you at the spa. He's actually rubbing on her, giving her a massage. He's giving her a massage and she's liking it. Ooh, ah, ee, ah, ee, ah, ooh, ah. He got her going bonkers. He don't want to watch anymore. But there's still 2 videos that are remaining. He clicks on the other video. It's another dude giving her a massage. She's telling him to go lower, go lower. Go lower. he gets to taking her robe off or whatever. Her towel, actually she was covered by a towel. He's taking the towel off and he's, giving her a massage. She's laying on her stomach. Third video was another dude giving her a massage. Something very, very similar. She's sitting there, Charles is sitting there looking at this, his wife, in amazement, like, what? He can't believe what he's seeing with his own two eyes. He knows what he's heard with his own two ears. He's noticed that the last couple months since she returned back from Jamaica, that she's been acting really, really funny, like she's on cloud nine. But now you see your wife with three separate dudes. You see, this message was sent by her best friend, Leslie, that she went to Jamaica with. Perhaps she didn't mean to send this to me. Why in the world would she send this to me? He texts, did you mean to send me this message? Because this is some, disturbing footage that I'm seeing here. Leslie proceeds to tell him, I just think that you should know who you're living with. He's sitting back in amazement. He really wants to destroy the videos. He wants to destroy the phones, but no, I can't do that. So he's just sitting there and thinking to himself. Text Leslie back, why would you send me this video? I understand what you're saying, but what other motives do you have for sending me this video? I tried to tell her that she was dead wrong. She didn't want to listen to me. She act like she's better than me. She act like she's better than the world since she got a little nursing degree. She's making a little money, so now but you all just went on a trip together. Yeah, that was supposed to be a trip to where, we were supposed to get back on track. See, they had been friends since childhood. We were supposed to get back on track and get our friendship, back the way that it once was. Make it like it was. Make it like it was the way it used to be. They were trying to get things back to how they were. Evidently, that didn't go well. I've known you since high school as well. Charles, you're a nice guy. You've always taken care of your family. You've always treated her well. So I figured that you should know this. You should see this. Charles is steaming. He's steaming, Willie beaming. I keep the ladies. He's fit to be tied. But again, he keeps his cool. He doesn't say anything. Perhaps she'll say something to me. Perhaps my wife would tell me that she had a falling out with her best friend or former best friend, Leslie. And it'll come up. I'm going to wait for her to say something. See, Charles was more laid back and more, I guess, don't necessarily want to say understanding of the situation, but he was just more, think about it, fellas. Y'all jump in the comment section and let me know if you've seen a video of your wife with three separate dudes getting these exotic massages, exclusive. These are exclusive, massages. What would you do? Are you going to wait for her to say something? Are you going to just convince yourself, it's not really that big of a deal, or attempt to convince yourself? Or are you going ham? Let it be known in the comment section. As I mentioned, Charles sit back about a week and a half. Wakes up one morning. Kids are already gone to school. They got the kids, situated. Got them on the, bus or what have you. They're gone to school. She's about to go to work. Hey, baby, I'm working a double tonight. I picked up an extra shift, so it'll be late when I get home. It's another 16 hours without my wife. 16, 17 hours without wifey. As she's heading out the door. Don't you have something to tell me? Huh? Excuse me? Don't you have something to tell me? What could I possibly have to tell you? Oh, so you want to play with my emotions now? You want to play dumb? Charles, listen, I need to get to work. I don't have time to be playing these trivia games, Jeopardy, whatever you want to play. What is it? Are you upset because I'm working a double? I mean, what is the problem? Now you working a double has nothing to do with it. What's up with you, these dudes up in Jamaica? I mean, what you mean what's up with me with these dudes down in Jamaica? I went to Jamaica, me and my girl, we had a good time. What, Charles? What? I need to go to work. Oh, yeah? You had a good time? So is this your definition? Is this your way of having a good time? He confronts her with the videos. Face just dropped. She's shocked. Where did you get those from? Don't worry about where I got them from. That bitch. You see, she knew the only place that, the only source that those videos could come from would be her former best friend, Leslie. Y'all rock with me, man. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Y'all rock with me. Come on, kids. We ain't tuning in to see you drink water, motherfucker. Hurry up, get to the story. Simmer down. So now they're going back and forth. They're not really yelling. That's not the type of relationship that they really had. As far as Charles, Charles was a calm individual. How could you betray me like this? How could you betray me like this? I mean, what do you mean betray you? The only thing they did was just give me a massage. It wasn't nothing. It was just a girl's thing, as I already told you. Trust me, honey, I love you. I'm with you. There's nothing that you have to worry about, okay? It was just a massage. It's not that big of a deal. That's all it was a massage. I love you, but I got to get to work, baby. Charles is thinking about his family. He's thinking about his kids. He's thinking about, and then once again, he's asking himself, am I tripping? It's not like they were on there doing anything. He's trying to convince himself that he didn't see what he clearly seen. Although they weren't doing anything, as far as intercourse. I mean, you got a man that's rubbing on your wife, and touching her in explicit sexual ways, but it was just fun. It was just a massage. It was just a trip. It was a one-time thing. I didn't do anything. I didn't, bring the dudes home. They way in Jamaica. It's just some erotic fantasies, to say the least. Another few weeks goes past. Charles is trying to do little things to spice up the, relationship, bringing his wife flowers and, trying to have a date night and, just trying to make things. He listened to his wife. He heard what she was, what she was saying as far as prior to going to Jamaica. She just needed, a little excitement in her life. That's basically what she was saying. And Charles wakes up one morning and has this weird feeling in his his manhood, in his action. Pause, double pause, triple pause. Just telling the story. It's feeling a burning sensation. It goes on for a couple of days and something's not right, man. It goes to the doctor. They inform me that he has a STD, chlamydia. Chlamydia, what the feezy? How in the world could I have chlamydia? I haven't messed around on my wife not one time. Not once. Waits a couple days, evaluates the situation as he typically does. He approaches his wife. Hey, baby, I went to the doctor, man, and they told me that I have chlamydia. You have chlamydia? I mean, what you been doing? Ho. Just calm down. Slow your roll. I haven't been doing anything. I haven't done anything whatsoever. I mean, what's the deal? Her being a nurse, it could have been something. You could have caught that from a toilet seat. You could have caught that. It could have been a mix-up down at the clinic or anything. I'm good. I don't have anything. So it has to be on your end. Nah, baby, I haven't done anything. Charles was being 100% genuine. I haven't done anything. There's no way that I'm just going to catch an STD. It has to be one of us. I know that it's not me. So what are you saying, Charles? What are you saying? I'm saying that I got this motherfucking STD now. Charles is manning up. Man up, nigga. Man up. Would Alonzo tell Jake, man up, nigga. That training day. Get this up in you, man. Help you come down. Charles has played the fool long enough. Everybody plays the fool. Sometimes Charles is done playing the fool. He's drilling his wife as far as asking her questions. The whole Jamaica trip, the whole thing with her former best friend, Leslie. She finally spills the beans. Okay, I did it. But it ain't no different. Okay, I had sex with one of the dudes one time. So what? It didn't mean anything to me. You had sex with one of the dudes one time and it didn't mean anything to you. Do you hear yourself? Do you actually understand what you're saying to me? It ain't no different when I caught you with that girl cheating. You talking about way before we got married? We've been married 9 years. You talking about 10 years ago when you called me up? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long ago it was. You did it, but I can't do it. So basically, you're basing you going way to Jamaica, a whole nother country, cheating on somebody or cheating on me with somebody. You say it was only once. You say it was only one person. Based upon what I did before we got married, you done been forgave me about that. Yeah, I forgave you, but I didn't forget. But like I said, that's how you dudes do. That's exactly how you dudes do. It's good for you when you do it, when y'all do it, but when we do it, it's a problem. Charles is heated, man. Fellas, how do you feel right there, man? Girl telling you this, and you done brought me back a STD, and you acting as though it's no big deal. Charles is furious, man. He's furious. Furious Styles. She's acting as though it's not anything and shifting all the blame on him. I'm still young. We're still young. All we do is just go to work. We deal with the kids. You know, we love the kids to death, but I need some excitement. I need some fun in my life. I want to go out. I want to be adventurous. No, it just sounds like you don't want to be married anymore. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you don't want to be married. I haven't cheated on you since. Yeah, I made a mistake. Like you said, we were young. So then 10 years ago, we were younger. So yeah, I made a mistake. But you go to Jamaica and have sex with somebody with a random, and evidently you didn't use any sort of protection because you come back and give me a STD. You are tripping. I gotta go. Now you're not going nowhere. You don't tell me what to do. I'm about to go out and whatever she was gonna go do. There was a vase that was sitting right there on the it was like a little stand that they had. Vase was just pretty much taking up space. It was a gift from somebody for Christmas or whatever, and it was just there. All the anger, all the aggression, all the love, all the things that Charles had built up inside of him. And I don't condone these actions. But as she's walking out of the door, turning her back on the relationship once again, I'm done talking. I'm gone. Don't you go nowhere. You stay right here and you're going to talk to me. You're going to talk to me. Yeah, whatever. Whatever, nigga. Whatever. She's walking out of the door. Charles grabs that vase, smacks in the back of the head with it. He smacks in the back of the head. She immediately hits the ground. She hits the ground. He starts to see the blood start to pour out onto the carpet. He steps back like, oh my God. Not really in a panic, but just, what have I done? What have I done? The kids were still in the house. They heard them kind of going back and forth. Now, that was new to them because typically they didn't argue, and especially in front of the kids. So the kids had never really heard them argue. He's in amazement. He's in awe. But Charles picks up the phone and calls 911, and I need y'all to come, and I need y'all to come quick. My wife, I've done something. I think I hurt her really, really bad. Now 911, they want to keep you on the phone and get all the details, and they already got the address. You didn't call, but I hit her in the head with a vase, and Charles walks outside and just sits on the porch, crying. He has his hands up. He has his face in his hands. The little girls come out. They see their mother. They're screaming and hollering, "Dad, Dad, Dad!" I guess the commotion from the ambulance is coming, police and fire trucks, and they hear all of that, so they come out. They're screaming. The police come up. They're talking to Charles. The ambulance runs inside. They're trying to revive her. She's still conscious. She's laying there with her eyes open. But she had lost so much blood. And she's laying there and she had this look. Charles had looked at her before he walked outside. And she looked at him. And she had a look on her face of confusion like, why would you do this? What about our family? What about our little girls? I guess at the time, Charles wasn't thinking anything about the family, the little girls. The same way that she wasn't thinking about the family and the little girls when she went way to Jamaica and did what she did. But at the same time, at the same token, that's no reason to do what you did. There's other ways to handle it. And violence is never really the key. But you never know what you'll do in that situation. You never know what you'll do when the time frame comes. You never know what you'll do when that moment actually occurs. And that person that you love, you poured your heart and soul into, not only stepped out on you, but it's acting as though it's not a big deal. You don't know what you would do. Respectfully. Police take him to headquarters. His mother comes over. Her parents are over there. They get the kids. They go to the hospital. They're trying their best to save her, but she's lost so much. It's been so much damage done from the blood that she lost. She's in a coma. His wife is in a coma, and they're not sure if she's ever going to come out of it. As I mentioned, they take him to the police station. They're questioning him. When I say him, meaning Charles. And they book him. Attempted murder. Hit a woman in the back of the head with a vase. He's in the county jail. For weeks, his wife remains in the ICU in this coma. The kids went to see her a couple times, but it was just too, it was very unbearable for them. They would draw pictures and read her poems and just talk to her while she was, trying to come to, fighting for her life seemingly. But they just couldn't stop crying. Everybody wanted to know why. Everybody wanted to know, how could you do this to your family? How could you do this to the kids? Why didn't you just, if that was truly the case, people don't typically want to believe the obvious. But if it truly was the case, why didn't you just leave her? Why didn't you all go to counseling? This was not the way. This is not what you had to do. He had to get a public defender. I guess he didn't have the money, even though they made money. I'm not sure. Maybe he wanted that money to go to the kids, or, because his mother and her parents were, going back and forth, keeping the kids, making sure that they stayed together. So he ended up getting a public defender. He knew that the charges were eventually going to be upgraded to murder, shall she pass away, in the event, rather, that she passed away. His lawyer, a lawyer is always going to come with a defense. Temporary, temporary insanity. He found out that his wife had been cheating. She gave him an STD. He lost his mind. He didn't try to run. He didn't try to hide. He called the police. He sit there and he waited. But the prosecution, they vicious. Yeah, he did all of that, but he never even tried to render aid. He just sit there. Maybe if he had to try to cover up the wound or stop the bleeding or anything, she wouldn't be in this predicament. But he just sit there. So they're going for the stiffest penalty possible. Charles never forgot couldn't get the sight of his wife just laying there, as I've previously mentioned, just looking at him. That look of confusion on her face. Charles couldn't get the sound of his kids. Daddy, why'd you hurt mommy? Daddy, why? Screaming and hollering. And he would just act as though they weren't saying anything. Everything seemed all good prior to this trip to Jamaica. But you see, things weren't all good because there was a communication gap. She felt some type of way about the relationship, as far as she wasn't being stimulated. She wasn't, feeling that honeymoon period was over with. The honeymoon period that you often feel when you get with an individual and, you all just met or whatever. You can't wait to see her. You can't wait to see him, vice versa, what have you, and talk to each other and spend all night on the phone and hold each other. And yeah, that only lasts for so long in most situations. And you want to try to do any and everything you can do to keep those things going, to keep that fire burning. But in a lot of situations, once you all get used to each other and get, this is just one of those things to where once the flame was out in her eyes, she never brought it to her husband's attention. And she was seeking that flame outside of the marriage. And look where it led to. Look where it got him. Well, Kens, what happened? What happened? I can't tell you what happened. I'm not going to leave you with a cliffhanger in part 2, and because right now I don't have a part 2. You see, at the moment, this is something that just recently happened. At the moment, she's still fighting. She's in a coma. He's in jail. He's fighting for his life while she's fighting for her life. Sad part, they could have communicated and been fighting for their lives and future and family together, man. You got a problem with somebody, let it be known to them. Don't seek, what do you call, comfort outside of your relationship, because once you bring in a third party or a fourth party, it's only going to complicate things even more. You can't be like, well, you did it, and you can be like that, but it's not healthy. If that's your frame of mind, well, you did it, and I forgave you. Okay, so if you truly forgave somebody, then you don't have a pass. You don't have a get out of jail free card to say, okay, well, he did it, so now I'm going to go do it. Work it out, man. If you don't want to work it out, you all figure out a way to coexist for those kids and not be with each other. But again, once you start to complicate, once you start to bring other people into the mix, it just complicates things. And people typically start to catch feelings for the other individual. See, people know when you're not acting the same. People know when you've kind of been with another person, you know. A lot of times the feelings and thoughts in your mind, you ignore them or you set them to the side, and then when you think back, it's like, man, I knew all along. For real, I was just hoping that wasn't it. Think about it, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that post notification anytime I bring you this action and this heat. You're amongst the first to receive, man. Now make sure y'all start liking my videos, sharing my videos, and commenting on my videos. That's the only way YouTube, the algorithm, is going to push my videos out. As soon as I get an update, I'm going to bring y'all part 2. But it'll be a while. Real Kens TV.